Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we really try to sift through all the noise, get to the heart of the story, and bring you the key insights.
That's the goal. Cut through the chatter.
And, there's nothing quite like the football transfer window, is there? That electric atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely. It's a world unto itself. High drama, high stakes.
Totally. Fortunes made, dreams, sometimes shattered. Careers can just pivot completely. Unexpected twists are almost guaranteed.
You see it every year. And right now, Nicolas Jackson, the Senegalese forward, he's slap bang in the middle of one of this season's biggest sagas.
He really is. So today we're doing a deep dive into his spectacular, but honestly really complicated transfer to Bayern Munich.
And it was complicated, wasn't it? Definitely not straightforward.
Not at all. And to get the full picture, we've got a whole stack of sources. Leading African sports outlets like AP News, Africa Top Sports, Dakaractu, Sen News, We Sport.
The key voices from the continent.
And then the big European players too. DW, Foot Africa, Le Quotidien, L'Equipe, Sky Sports, Bild, ESPN, Foot Mercado, Bavarian Football Works, The Sun, even Daily Motion clips.
A really wide net, plus that detailed analysis piece, Jackson O'Bayern. It sounds useful.
It really is. Gives some great context. So our mission today, unpack every layer of this mega transfer.
Right. Get into the nuts and bolts.
We'll explore the drama around his move from Chelsea, and there was drama. We'll look at the huge financial figures, what they mean, and what this signifies for Jackson's career path at Bayern.
And crucially, connect it all back to his national team duties, right? Senegal.
Exactly. The World Cup 2026 qualifiers are coming up. He's got this immense dual pressure now, club and country.
Huge pressure. So the big questions for you listening are, is this a calculated risk? For him? For Senegal? Or is this the start of something massive, a meteoric rise?
And what about those bold statements he made against Chelsea? Is that just confidence talking, or has he maybe added extra pressure on himself?
That's a fascinating angle. Confidence or pressure? Or maybe both.
Could be both. By the end of this, you should have a really clear understanding of the complex situation Nicolas Jackson is navigating right now. Okay, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So, the transfer saga itself, as you said, not straightforward. It started, seemingly, with a pretty standard loan proposal, right? Jackson from Chelsea to Bayern for 2025, 2026.
Yeah, that's what the initial report suggested. AP News, Dakaractu, Foot Africa, DW, Le Quotidien, they were all saying, okay, a loan deal is on the cards. Looked routine almost.
And the financial side initially, what was the setup?
Well, according to those analysis pieces, Jackson Bayern, préhistorique et stratégique and enjeu et ambition, Chelsea had agreed, in principle anyway, to a loan structure. It involved a $16.5 million loan fee.
Which is pretty hefty for just a loan fee.
It really is.
Right.
And on top of that, there was a $65 million option to buy. So you add those together, the potential total value was already pegged at $81.5 million.
Okay, so a big potential deal, but structured. Seemed like everyone knew where they stood.
Exactly. Looked like a plan. Chelsea gets good fee, Bayern gets to try out a top player, Jackson gets his move. Win-win-win, sort of.
And then, the gros coup de théâtre, as the French media dramatically put it.
Yes. The big plot twist.
On August 30th, just when it seemed done and dusted, Chelsea suddenly tried to pull back to keep him.
That's what Dakaractu and Foot Africa reported. A complete U-turn. Just imagine the chaos behind the scenes. Some shockwaves, really.
Why? What triggered that last-minute change of heart?
It sounds almost mundane, but according to Enjeu et Ambition, it came down to an injury. Liam Delap got injured playing against Fulham.
Okay. So suddenly Chelsea are looking at their squad depth thinking, hang on.
Precisely. Worried about their attacking options right as the window was slamming shut. It shows how quickly things can change, doesn't it? One injury can derail a massive transfer.
And how did Jackson react to this? Chelsea saying, actually, maybe stay.
Well, he wasn't having any of it, apparently. The reports, particularly in Enjeu et Ambition, say he was resolute. He wanted Bayern. He reportedly refused point blank to go back to London.
Wow. That's a strong stance. Really forcing the issue.
Absolutely. It shows real determination. A player saying, no, this is the move I want. We had an agreement. It really put the pressure back on Chelsea.
You see that more often now, perhaps, players taking control.
I think so. Especially when they feel a commitment has been made, even if not every I is dotted. It basically forced everyone back to the negotiating table, didn't it?
It must have. So intense talks followed, presumably right up to the deadline.
You'd imagine so. Round-the-clock stuff. And they hammered out a revised agreement. But the structure changed quite significantly.
How so? It wasn't just the loan plus option anymore.
No. This is where it gets interesting. Instead of a simple option to buy, where Bayern could decide later, it became a conditional obligation to buy.
Okay, conditional obligation. Explain that for us. What's the key difference?
It's crucial. An obligation means the purchase becomes mandatory if certain conditions are met. It's not Bayern's choice anymore if those conditions trigger.
And what were the conditions, roughly?
Bild reported, and the analysis piece is confirmed, it was linked to a very large number of appearances for Jackson. Play enough games, basically, and the permanent transfer automatically kicks in.
So it's performance-related. Bayern effectively has to play him for the deal to become permanent at that 65 million figure.
Essentially, yes. It incentivizes Bayern to use him, and it gives Chelsea a near guarantee of the future fee if he plays. It's quite a clever structure, actually. It aligns everyone's interest in him succeeding on the pitch.
Mitigates some risk for Bayern up front while locking in a future fee for Chelsea, provided he features.
Exactly. So after all that drama, the transfer was finally officially done on September 1st, 2025. DW, Foot Africa, all confirmed it. The saga was over.
What a roller coaster. Okay, so let's move beyond the will he won't he's drama. This deal is historic for other reasons too, particularly the finances and the media buzz.
Oh, definitely. The numbers involved are staggering.
Yeah. Let's start with that loan fee again. DW reported it as 15 million, right? Just for the loan period.
That's right, 15 million upfront just for the temporary move. That alone is huge.
And then the permanent part, there were slightly different figures floating around, weren't there?
There were, yeah, which often happens in these complex deals. DW mentioned a potential non-mandatory option of 80 million. If you add that to the 15 million loan fee, you get a potential ceiling of 95 million.
Okay, 95 million total potential.
But then those other sources, Jackson au Bayern, prêt historique et stratégique, and enjeu et ambition, they focused on that conditional obligation figure of 65 million.
Right, the one triggered by appearances.
Exactly. And if you add that 65 million to the initial reported loan fee of 16.5 million,
which is the first number mentioned before the final scramble,
you get 81.5 million. So you've got these two potential totals floating around. 81.5 million based on the conditional obligation and 95 million based on DW's reporting of a higher option.
It's important then to understand it's not necessarily a guaranteed 95 million payment. It depends on those conditions or whether it was ultimately structured as an option or obligation.
Absolutely key. That conditionality or optionality makes a huge difference. It's not cash upfront for Chelsea beyond the loan fee.
But regardless of the final potential figure, 81.5 million or 95 mm, the loan itself has been called the most expensive loan in Bundesliga history. That's according to Jackson au Bayern, un prêt historique et stratégique.
It has. It's a massive statement of intent from Bayern, even with the conditional nature of the full fee. They don't usually splash cash quite like this, especially on loans.
What does that signal really? Is it just a headline figure or does it show real conviction?
I think it shows both ambition and a degree of calculated risk. They're willing to pay a premium now to secure a player they clearly rate very highly, but they've structured it to sort of defer the biggest chunk of the payment until he proves himself in their system. It's smart business in a way, given the sums involved. Securing talent without the immediate massive outlay.
Makes sense. And beyond the money, there's symbolism too. The shirt number. He gets number 11 at Bayern.
Yeah, DW and others confirm that. And number 11 at a club like Bayern. That's not just any number. It usually goes to a key attacker, someone expected to make a big impact. Think Robin, for instance, though he wore 10 mostly. But wingers, dynamic forwards often get 11.
So it comes with expectations, a bit of pressure maybe.
Definitely. It's a vote of confidence, a signal to everyone, fans, teammates, Jackson himself, that the club sees him as a potential star player. It's a psychological boost, but yeah, adds to the spotlight.
And the salary commitment. Bayern are covering his full wages.
That's the report, yes. Jackson au Bayern, un prêt historique et stratégique, l'équipe, Foot Mercado all mentioned Bayern covering the full salary, which is estimated up to 14 million gross per year, including bonuses.
Wow, 14 million gross. That's serious money.
It absolutely is. It underlines their commitment. They're not just paying a transfer fee. They're investing heavily in his personal terms, too. Makes the player feel wanted, valued. It's part of the package to attract elite talent.
Okay, and then there's the agent's role in all this. Ali Barat. He apparently played a blinder in terms of media management.
Oh, absolutely. This was quite something. According to Jackson au Bayern, un prêt historique et stratégique, Barat put out this press release very enthusiastically, calling the deal a Weltrekord, A world record.
A world record. For a loan deal, that sounds ambitious.
That's certainly a bold claim. Whether it technically is a world record for a loan structure is debatable, but that wasn't really the point, was it? The point was to generate massive media buzz, to frame the deal in the most spectacular terms possible.
It worked.
It absolutely captured headlines, it amplified the significance of the move, inflated Jackson's profile instantly. It's a PR masterstroke in a way.
But does that kind of hype help the player? Or just add more pressure?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It projects huge confidence, makes him seem like a world beater before he's kicked the ball for Bayern. But yeah, it sets expectations sky high. Every touch, every miss will be viewed through that world record lens. It's high risk, high reward from the agent.
A fascinating dynamic. Okay, so the ink is dry, the drama's over, Jackson is a Bayern player. Let's look ahead. What are the opportunities and, crucially, the challenges he faces in Munich?
Right. First, you have to see this from Bayern's perspective. This isn't just signing a good player, it's part of a bigger picture. They're in a bit of a rebuilding phase, wouldn't you say?
It feels like it. Some huge names have moved on recently.
Exactly. DW reported on the departures. Thomas Müller, a club legend. Kingsley Coman, Leroy Sané. These were mainstays, key parts of their attack for years. Losing them creates a significant void.
Not just in terms of goals and assists, but experience, leadership too.
Precisely. So bringing in Jackson is part of a deliberate strategy to refresh and reinforce that attack with younger, dynamic talent. They need new pillars to build around for the next few years.
And he's not the only big attacking signing they've made recently.
No, they also brought in Luis Diaz from Liverpool for a reported 75 million, according to DW. So you see a pattern significant investment in high-quality, versatile forwards. Jackson is part of that offensive overhaul.
So where does Jackson fit in? He's 24. What's his profile, his likely role?
He's seen as young, dynamic, very fast, and a potentially prolific scorer. The analysis pieces suggest he's seen as someone who can support Harry Kane initially, but maybe, just maybe, eventually succeed him.
Kane is 32 now, right? So long-term succession planning.
It has to be in their minds. Kane is world-class, the undisputed starter for now, no question. But Jackson offers a different profile, more pace, perhaps more direct running. And he gives them a top-tier option for the future when Kane eventually moves on or slows down. He can learn from Kane in the meantime.
And does his style fit Bayern's way of playing, tactically?
It looks like a very good fit on paper. Bayern love to dominate possession, press high, and attack quickly, using pace and directness. Jackson's attributes, his speed, his runs, his work rate, seem tailor-made for that system.
Did the club comment on that?
Yeah, Max Eberl, Bayern's sporting director, reportedly highlighted that compatibility. According to Enjeu et Ambition, he felt Jackson's style suited Bayern's offensive philosophy well. That suggests they've really thought about the tactical integration, not just buying a name.
Which is crucial. A player needs to fit the system.
Absolutely. Raw talent isn't enough at this level if the tactical fit isn't right. It sounds like Bayern have done their homework and see a clear role for him and how they want to play. His pressing ability, especially, will be valued.
Okay, so that's Bayern's perspective. What about Jackson himself? His personal ambitions. He hasn't been quiet, has he?
Not at all. He's come out quite strongly. Reports in Jackson au Bayern. Préhistorique stratégique. And Allsport quote him talking about having grand objectives and grand dreams. He wants to win lots of titles with Bayern.
Standard stuff for a new signing at a big club, perhaps?
To an extent, yes. But it signals strong personal drive, high motivation. He's not just happy to be there. He wants to achieve big things. Which is what you want to hear, I suppose.
But then he went further, didn't he? Specifically about Chelsea.
Ah, yes. This is the comment that really raised eyebrows. He explicitly said he wants to découdre avec Chelsea in the Champions League.
Explain découdre avec again. It's not just beat them, is it?
No, it's stronger than that. It implies wanting to take them apart, dismantle them, unravel them. It's quite aggressive. Suggests wanting to really prove a point against his former club, almost like settling a score.
Especially with that Champions League game scheduled so soon, September 17th. That adds real spice.
Incredible timing, isn't it? That quote, reported in Enjeu et Ambition and We Sport, sets up that match perfectly. Talk about pressure.
So again, is this supreme confidence, or has he just painted a massive target on his back for that game?
It's exactly that dilemma, isn't it? Enjeu et Ambition discusses this. It shows massive self-belief, a desire to prove Chelsea wrong, perhaps, especially after reportedly losing the coach's confidence.
Enzo Maresca, right. The suggestion was he wasn't fully convinced.
That was the narrative. So this move is a huge chance for Jackson to relaunch his career on the biggest stage, prove he is that world-class talent. The statement against Chelsea underlines that motivation. But yeah, it ramps up the pressure immensely for that specific game. Failure to perform will be magnified.
It's a gamble, a very public statement of intent.
It is. And it comes after a Chelsea spell that wasn't perfect. We need to remember that too.
What were the issues there, beyond maybe losing the coach's full backing?
Well, discipline was a factor. He picked up 2 red cards last season against Newcastle and Flamengo. That's not ideal for a top striker.
No, consistency is key.
And there were some reports, mentioned in Enjeu et Ambition, about irregularity in his finishing. Moments of brilliance, perhaps, but maybe not the ruthless consistency expected at the very top level just yet. These are areas he'll need to improve at Bayern. The potential is there, but refinement is needed.
So challenges remain. Adaptation, competition.
Huge challenges. Moving to a new league, the Bundesliga, is never easy. Okay, he played in La Liga with Villarreal, which helps, but the Bundesliga has its own style, its own intensity.
And the competition for places at Bayern.
Wow. Exactly. As DW and the analysis piece point out, he's competing with Harry Kane, Elise, Gnabry, Luis Diaz. That's a world-class attacking unit.
Breaking into that starting lineup regularly is going to be tough.
Incredibly tough. He'll need to adapt quickly, impress in training, take his chances when they come. It's not just about fitting in tactically, it's about consistently outperforming some of the best attackers in the world just to get minutes. That internal pressure is immense.
A real test of his character and ability. Okay, let's shift focus now from the intense club environment to his national team duties with Senegal, because that's happening immediately, right?
Right away. Straight after this huge, draining transfer saga, he's expected to link up with the Lions for crucial World Cup 2026 qualifiers.
Talk about jumping from the frying pan into the fire.
It really highlights the relentless demands on top players these days. Africa Top Sports and Dakaractu reported on the call-up. There's no rest, no settling in period at Bayern, really. He's straight into another high-pressure environment with Senegal.
Who are they playing?
The coach, Pepe Theo, named his squad for games against Sudan and, significantly, DR Congo. Jackson's inclusion was obviously expected. He's vital for them.
And the mood in the Senegal camp?
Seems confident. Dakaractu quoted fellow player El Hadji Malik saying something like, "Sudan is a trap, but Senegal is ready to crush everything." So, high expectations within the group.
Which again adds pressure on key players like Jackson.
Always, especially with World Cup qualification on the line. Every game matters.
Now, there was some concern about another key Senegal forward, Ismaïla Sarr, an injury.
Yes, that was a significant worry. Dakaractu reported on August 31st about inquietude concern over a thigh injury Sarr picked up. It cast doubt on his availability, especially for that potentially tougher game against DR Congo.
And what's the latest on Sarr? Is he fit?
Unfortunately, no. This is a big blow for Senegal. WeSport confirmed that Sarr is officially out, forfeit. He's been replaced in the squad by Ousseynou Niang.
Wow, okay, so Sarr is definitely missing. That changes things.
It significantly changes the attacking dynamic. Sarr's pace and threat are huge assets. His absence puts even more focus, more responsibility on Nicolas Jackson.
Which leads directly to this question of managing his workload, doesn't it? Given the transfer, the travel, Sarr being out.
Precisely. The question being asked explicitly by WeSport and deemed legitimate in Jackson au Bayern, a prêt historique et stratégique, is will Jackson be ménagé? Will he be rested or managed carefully against Sudan?
To keep him fresh for the DR Congo game, which might be seen as the bigger challenge.
Exactly that. It's a classic player management dilemma for the national coach. You've got a star player who's just been through the ringer with a transfer, you've got another star attacker injured, and 2 crucial qualifiers back-to-back.
What do you risk? Play him in both and hope he doesn't break down? Or save him for the perceived bigger game and risk dropping points in the first one?
It's a tough call. Sudan away could be tricky. DR Congo is always a strong opponent. Every point is vital in these groups.
Is there any official word from the Senegalese Federation on how they'll handle him?
Not according to our sources. Jackson au Bayern, prêt historique et stratégique, noted that there's no indication of an official strategy to rest him. It might just be a game-time decision based on how he feels, how he trains.
Which puts pressure on Jackson too, perhaps, to say he's fit even if he's tired.
Potentially, yes. The desire to represent your country, especially with Sarr out, is immense. It's a delicate balance between player welfare, national ambition, and now maybe even Bayern's interest, hoping he doesn't get injured right after signing.
A real tightrope. So let's zoom out. What's the potential impact of this whole Bayern move on Senegal's overall World Cup ambitions?
Could be huge either way.
Let's take the positive scenario first.
Okay, best case. Jackson thrives at Bayern. He integrates well, gets regular game time, scores goals, maybe wins titles. He's playing at an elite level week in, week out against top opposition in the Bundesliga and Champions League.
That experience, that confidence.
Would be incredibly valuable for Senegal. Jackson of Bayern, prêt historique et stratégique, suggests his elevated club form could significantly boost the national team. He comes into international breaks sharp, confident, battle-hardened. That's a massive asset for the qualifiers and hopefully for the World Cup itself in 2026. He could become the main man, the leader.
A potential game changer for Senegal's prospects.
Absolutely. Imagine him firing on all cylinders for both club and country.
But what's the flip side, the negative scenario?
The risk, also highlighted in that same analysis, is that he struggles at Bayern. Maybe adaptation is slow, maybe the competition is just too fierce, maybe he doesn't get consistent minutes, or those past inconsistency issues resurface.
So his confidence drops.
Exactly. A player struggling at club level, maybe sitting on the bench, often finds it hard to then switch gears and perform at their peak for the national team. It can disrupt rhythm, undermine self-belief.
And that could negatively impact Senegal's qualifying campaign.
It certainly could. If their main striker isn't firing, isn't confident, that's a major problem, especially at crucial moments. So his success or failure at Bayern isn't just a personal story. It's deeply intertwined with Senegal's World Cup hopes. There's a lot riding on this move for the nation, too.
It really puts everything into perspective. Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, we've journeyed through Nicolas Jackson's whirlwind transfer to Bayern Munich. The drama, the coup de théâtre, the huge finances, making it one of the Bundesliga's most expensive ever loan deals.
Plus the agent's Welsh record hype adding another layer. It's been a multifaceted gamble, hasn't it? A massive test for him, financially loaded, intense media scrutiny, but also a huge opportunity.
A chance to relaunch, as we said, and his own words, wanting to découdre avec Chelsea. They show that burning desire, that self-belief, but also pile on that mental pressure he seems willing to carry.
And it all connects, doesn't it? The club ambitions, the national team responsibilities. This transfer, followed immediately by the World Cup qualifiers, especially with Sarr now out, it puts Jackson right under this intense dual spotlight. That question of managing him against Sudan and DR Congo really underlines the immense pressure.
So as he pulls on that number 11 shirt for Bayern, steps out at the Allianz Arena, and then answers Senegal's call for these vital qualifiers, you have to ask, right? Is this the season? The season he explodes onto the global stage, becomes that undisputed leader for both Bayern and Senegal.
Or conversely, will this immense double pressure, the highest level of European club football combined with the massive expectations of a whole nation, prove to be the biggest hurdle of his career so far? Could it define him or perhaps even derail him?
It's a truly fascinating narrative unfolding right now, a high-stakes journey for Nicolas Jackson, and one we'll all be watching very, very closely.